Hello Wobblies, welcome to Wobbly Otter Outdoors. I'm Chris, and in this episode we are making char cloth and then making fire with that char cloth and a flint and steel. This episode is made possible in part by generous supporters on Patreon. Helpful tips and pointers are going to be shared at the end of the video. When researching and learning how to make char cloth and to make an ember on that cloth with a flint and steel method, I learned a lot of things that were kind of helpful pointers, so I'm going to share those with you now. The cloth that you use to make the char cloth should be 100% natural plant fibers. That can be cotton, linen, or jute. I used 100% cotton denim, and that worked really well. When choosing the container to use to make your char cloth, choose something that's metal and seals well, and I think it works best if it's a shallow container. That way the heat will get to the cloth most evenly and easily. The reason for putting the hole in the top of the container is to let the gases escape that occurred during the charring process, and you can tell when your char cloth is ready by watching that gas escape. While the charring process is taking place, there will be smoke coming out of the hole, or the gases that are coming out in smoke may actually ignite, and so you have a cool little jet of flame coming out the top. That's really cool. The holes I cut in the top of the container were probably a little too big, but it seemed to work fine anyway. When placing the cloth inside the tin, the cloth should be sized so that it fills the container, and fill it up just to the top, but not pack it tightly. That way the heat can get around the cloth well, the gases can escape easily, and you should get a really uniform char that way. For the fire, a nice campfire with some flames or even a nice bed of coal seems to work really well. When the smoke stops coming out of the hole in the top of the can, you can remove it from the fire and just set it to the side and let it cool completely before you open it up. The quality of the char cloth that you're shooting for is one that is charred all the way around and has a little bit of structure to it. It doesn't just disintegrate when you touch it, but it does tear and come apart easily. When looking at the flint and steel that you're using, the rock can be flint, chert, or any rock that is harder than the carbon steel. When using the flint and steel method, what you're using is using an edge of the rock to shave off little pieces of the steel. The friction makes that spark, and then the little ember falls onto the char cloth, and it catches with great efficiency. That is a beautiful thing of using the char cloth, is how easily it takes a spark and spreads to an ember. So when you're picking your motion, and you can tell by sound as well as the angle, you want an angle that looks like it's actually going to shave those little pieces off, and you'll know when you start getting the sparks. What I found that worked best when placing the char cloth was to place it close to the edge, very close to the edge, so it's going to be striking, and to hold it down with a thumb or fingers, something that lets you hold the stone and the char cloth and have enough grip on the stone. Then when you strike it, that little bit of metal spark that comes over has a greater chance of landing on the char cloth. One, because it's close, and when you're holding it down, it's keeping it flat. If I wasn't holding it down close to the edge, then my char cloth tended to stick up, and my little sparks were landing all under it but not touching the cloth. The rock that I used for this method is actually flint. Bill bought it for me off of Amazon. I'll put links to chert. Too close. Down in the description, we'll put links to flints, steels, and metal tins that can be used for making the char cloth. And in the comments, let us know what you think. Thanks for watching, Wobbly Otter. We love you and hope all your tomorrows are bright. Until next time. No, you were good. You were good. Sit here. Sit here. Sit. 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 Okay, good. No kissing. No. Cars and planes, oh dogs, oh my. This was supposed to be fast.